300 episodes. What's up, Unbroken Nation? Hope that you're doing well wherever you are in the world today. Just wanted to take a moment here and say thank you to all of you for listening, for being a part of the Unbroken Nation, for being a part of this whole journey that I've been on in my own personal life, but also in the show. And, you know, technically speaking, we're actually at about 320 episodes. But I wanted to celebrate this as 300, even though this will come out at like 306 or something like that. And putting out 300 episodes of a podcast, I promise you, is no easy feat. And the truth about it is, when I first started this show, I had no real anticipation that I would do this now going on over 4 years. It was more so, oh, I think this is a good idea. It might be fun. And then realizing like it's actually a tremendous amount of work. And then, as many of you know, I made the decision at the beginning of the year to do 365 episodes, which has been an incredible journey. Some of the episodes have been really good, some have been not so good as this goes. But, we kind of just continue to go forward, and I made a decision to stick towards the goal no matter what. I said, when I am going to do this, it's done. No excuses, figured out. And luckily, maybe not even luckily, just because of the decisions that I've made and because of having an amazing team here at Think Unbroken, we have not missed a day this year. And that's very exciting to me. And that means, by the time we get to the end of the year, we're going to be around 500 episodes, which is nuts. And we've had phenomenal guests. You may have noticed we're re-airing some of our past guests, and the reason why is because I don't want those to get lost in the ether. There are so many incredible people who have been on this show, and so many incredible people who will be on this show. I've got a couple of guests coming on that, like, I can't tell you who they are, but it's very, very, very exciting. And the biggest reason, people ask me all the time, like, why did I choose to make this show? Part of it, again, was the enjoyment. And the other part was I just wanted to be able to learn. I wanted to be able to learn from people who have done things that I have not done, who understand the world in ways that I do not. And every single time that I sit down with a guest, I learn so much. And one of the things that really, truly keeps me going is when I get messages or emails or DMs from you guys from the amazing Unbroken Nation who are like, that episode was incredible, or that episode was impactful in my life. And more so when I see the reviews on iTunes. Like, I know that it's annoying to be asked to go leave a review because every show on fucking planet Earth does that. But the truth about it is, like, that's how we bump in the algorithm. That's how we get seen. That's how we get heard. That's how more people get exposed to this information. And what was one of the really interesting things I've been thinking about as the show moves forward is not only staying in the realm and the focus of CPTSD and trauma, because it dawned on me recently, there is so much to life. There is our mental health, our emotional, physical, spiritual, sexual health. There is also our careers, our businesses, our finances. There's so many aspects. And I actually sat down on my I didn't sit on my whiteboard. I was sitting down, I grabbed my whiteboard, and I just started jotting out like all of the different things that I would consider to be categories of life. And we're going to start expanding the show a bit. And the reason why is because at some point, I believe that everything that can be said in specific categories will be said. And I don't want that to happen. Now, we'll never move away from things around mindset and trauma and tools and being practical. But I thought to myself, what if we have more people on the show who have just a completely different array and category of experience? Not only that, but really solidifying our stance on this idea of being unbroken, being more than just about mental health. Like, how do you be unbroken in your career, in dating, in relationships, in your sexuality, in your humanity, in your spirituality, in, if you want to be an entrepreneur or if you want to write a book. Like, I want to have authors on, I want to have speakers on, I want to have people on who have done these incredibly difficult feats, who have, accomplished physical milestones, mental milestones. And as we get deeper into the show and I bring more guests, now you'll notice here in the coming weeks, we'll be moving to an in-studio show for some episodes, which I'm very, very excited about. You may not know this, but I record this show from, you may actually know this, I record this show from my living room. And so one of the things about that is there's not a lot of human interaction on this show, and I've always felt there's an element that's missing in that. And so I'm very, very excited as we move deeper into the show to be able to bring that. But really, that's just kind of looking at the future, and to look and reflect on the past here for a moment. Getting to 300 episodes was and is not the mission, not the goal. It's just a part of the process of giving people the tools. And it's incredible to me, some of the voices and the minds and the people who have come on this show, where not only do I learn, but sometimes it changes my life because I go, fuck, I never thought about that. And it's so beautiful when that happens. And I think, and I go back and I look at all these amazing guests, people like John Lee Dumas, like Tom Bilyeu, Anna Lamke, Dr. Trish Phillips, who's incredible, Kelly Gorez, Tim Story, right? I mean, geez, we got Oprah's coach Tim Story on the show. Like, that's incredible. And not just those guys, but the people who show up day in and day out, who are not massive celebrities. We're approaching like 200 guests on this show. I think that'll happen in the next month or so. I'd have to add them up to be accurate, and I haven't, so I apologize. But it's amazing to me when I sit down with someone who has this incredible story of triumph, who has figured out how to live their life and how to be unbroken, and how meaningful that can be. And not only how meaningful it can be, but I think about people in this journey, especially in the beginning when I first started this show, who were willing to come through and let me fumble my way through interviews, right? I think about so many of them all the time, and I have so much love and admiration for them, because they're like, realistically, like, this is what I think about in the journey of this show. Somebody had to give me a shot. You know what I mean? As a guest, like, somebody had to be willing to go, yeah, I'll spend half an hour, 45 minutes with this guy, and hopefully it'll be good. And in the beginning, some of the people, not some, but most of the people in the beginning were my friends. And I would just be like, hey, I like the thing you're doing. Will you come on the show? And then it started to grow, and it became reaching out to, figures and icons and things of that nature. But I would not be here without the incredible people who in the beginning were just like, yeah, we'll come on. And I was like, great, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's figure it out together. And them being incredibly supportive. And that's such a beautiful reminder about the truth of the journey of not just a podcast, but life. It's like, you have to be willing to ask people to support you. You have to be willing to find the right people, to ask them for help, to ask them to come into your life and to be a part of your journey, and to speak into you and to guide you. And if you're willing to do that, it's really beautiful what will happen on the backside of it. And so as I go through what's next and the evolution of this show and the growth of this show, and kind of thinking about these categories that I want to build out, like, this show would not exist without every single person who'd been willing to give me their time, and all of my team, and you guys, the Unbroken Nation, for listening and for supporting, for leaving reviews, for telling friends about the show, for screenshotting episodes, for comment. Like, it all matters. And so I thank you for that. And as we go forward, my goal is really just to keep doing this, to keep growing this show. I have a very simple mission when it comes to the show itself. I want to have the #1 mental health podcast in the world. And so when you guys listen, when you subscribe, when you leave reviews on iTunes, or wherever you listen, like, that helps so much. Because here's what I want you to think about. If there's ever anything that you've learned from this show that you think can benefit somebody else, then there is a power that you hold in giving and delivering that to other people. And that makes you a part of this mission in a deeper, more profound way. So that said, this is an episode kind of about nothing other than talking about the past and the future. And in the present, I'm just very happy. I'm ecstatic that we've been able to put this together, that the show's growing, that we're building out a studio, that I'm being guest on more shows, and that we're really starting to see the impact of Think Unbroken take shape worldwide. You know, it was only a couple of weeks ago that we found out that we were a top 40 show in America, a top 40 show in Canada, somehow a top 10 show in multiple countries around the world. And that's beautiful to me. And so we keep going every day. I thank you for being here on Broken Nation. I thank you for your support. I thank every guest who has come on and every guest who will come on. And I thank myself for going through this every day, because it's not easy. And there's days I don't want to do this. You know, you go back a couple of months ago, I'd had surgery. I was recording and like walking around with my phone. Like, it was crazy because I couldn't sit down, and, you know, doing it injured, sick. It's like the post office, like we always deliver. And so this is a real testament of my own word and my own bond to myself, which I really love. Because just like you guys, I'm learning, I'm growing every single day. I'm discovering the tools and what it really means to step into being unbroken. And for me on this journey, this is a part of the process of being better at doing what I say I'm going to do. And so with that said, 300 episodes, tons this year, tons to come in the future. I'm very excited. If you have questions, if there's guests that you'd like to see, if there's subject matters you want me to cover, email me. You're welcome to. I'm the only person who checks my email. My team does not. You can email me to michael@thinkunbrokenpodcast.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to leave a review, just leave a review on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen. And let me know the truth. If you love the show or hate the show, it means the world to me. I read them all. And do me a favor. Today, share your favorite episode with a friend, with someone in your life, with a person that you think could use it, because that makes you a part of the mission. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to you. So with that said, my friends, thank you for being here on Broken Nation. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, tell a friend. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see ya.